Welcome back, guys. Right now I'm in Pasadena in SoCal. I spent the weekend down here for a big mini bike ride called Super Sunday. This was the last event after 15 years, so I had to check it out. There will be a video for the event, so stay tuned for that. Today I'm gonna head to Lone Pine to pick up a car. If you guys have been following this channel, then you know that I've been wanting to build a hot rod. For the past couple years, I've been looking for the perfect candidate, and today is the day. I found this car on Facebook Marketplace about 2 weeks ago, and I was pretty sure that it would be sold by the time I get to it. But I wanted to test my luck anyways and message the owner. Long story short, Mike, the owner, and I share a lot of common interests, and he likes what I plan to do with the car, so he decided to sell the car to me. Deals like this don't happen often, and Mike had a lot of offers. Lucky for me, there is a U-Haul store in Lone Pine where I can rent a one-way trailer to tow the car back to San Jose. Alright, just picked up the trailer. Alright guys, the reason I'm in Lone Pine is because of this car. And here is Mike, the seller. What's up, Mike?
What's happening, buddy? So I'm really happy that you got this. It's going to be really great to see the transformation and see what you do with it. I think that this is one of the coolest Model A's. I really like the Coupe.
And it's a leatherback, right? Can you tell people what's a leatherback?
It's a leatherback, and the difference is, on the regular Coupes, the leather was only on the top. But on the leatherback, it came down and around to the bottom. So the whole top was covered in leather. But that was a bad idea, because once they got all the leather on it, the water got trapped in it when it rained. And so things like this with the wood would rot because the water would just sit in it. So there was only 1,000 of these made originally, and there's even less now because Henry Ford trained his technicians to change the top. So they would unbolt this top, get rid of it, and they would put the regular Coupe top on it. So there's probably anywhere from maybe 100 to like 200 of these actually left.
Crazy.
The inside had a lot of wood in it, and so even though it wouldn't get trapped directly, it would rot because it was next to it, because the rot would travel with it. And then you would have a lot of different things like mold and other problems. So it's a fun little hot rod, and I think you're going to have a really good time, and your viewers are really going to enjoy the transformation and the work that you do on it. It's a very good starting piece. It's a good base piece.
Yep. This is what I've been looking for. This condition, title, running.
Running.
Yeah, running is the crazy part, you know?
It's really neat firing it up and going down the road in it. The only problem that you might find is that people look at it and they really want to see it. So sometimes you got to deal with people kind of swerving at you while they look and give you the thumbs up. So
yeah,
it can be a little dangerous sometimes.
I can't imagine the drive home.
Oh, the drive home is going to be a blast. So there's a little 4-cylinder. And what's really cool about these is this is a huge 3.0. So that's really big for a 4-cylinder. And, you know, it really is half of a V8.
That's
So
true.
you can get this thing really humming. The other thing, too, is that these are high geared. So you can do, you know, I wouldn't recommend it, but you can do 80 miles an hour in these things. You can really get up and go.
After new brakes though, right?
Yeah, new brakes, maybe some tires that'll handle it. They're really fun, either as a hot rod or as a stalker. A lot of times people don't realize that getting one of these and keeping it stock is actually very costly. The ignition module is $7, you know, things like that. So keeping them stock can actually be very affordable. And then you go into what you're going to do when you're building the hot rod out of it, and it can just skyrocket, you know, from there. But having the title, having it run, and having it be complete is very a bonus. You really want to look for things like that.
Yep.
Especially in California.
Yeah, you know, I've been looking for a Model A for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Every single day on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
And then you just popped up, you know? You changed the wheels too, right?
Yeah, so originally when I got it, it had just some steel wheels on it, and it actually did have pretty close to the original tires. So that's nearly 100 years old.
Yeah.
And they just would flop, 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 flop. Now going back to the price of things and the availability of things, I think I paid $200 for the wheels and tires.
Wow.
That's not too bad to be able to go down the road like that. And they're the nice Firestone tires. And a lot of times guys will do just what you're doing. They'll hot rod it. So you get a stock one and then you start taking all the parts off of it. Now you got to figure out what to do with the parts. So it's nice for us as the stalkers to be able to pick out things like that. But even when you hot rod it, you might need some headlights or a grill or something like that.
Yep.
And it's not that hard to find. And you would think it would be, but it's one of those things that, you know, like I said, people swap out their parts and go hot rod with it. And there's a good amount of parts.
Yeah, and nowadays with like internet, you know, you can sell parts so easy.
Yeah, especially if you're in one of the bigger cities.
Yep.
You know, and you've got some people to look at it. Now this one's kind of cool, I think, in that they flipped the deck lid around
To make it a rumble seat, right?
make it a rumble seat. Yeah. So, you know, if a guy had some kids, these things are tiny. It's hard to even get 2 people in here. So if you've got your wife and, you know, your couple kids, you have to do something like this. Another thing that guys did a lot is they would cut this trunk off completely and then put a truck bed on it. Then they had a truck that they could use, because back in the day, you know, just like now, cars and trucks and things like that are used because people need them. This was not really a want.
Yeah.
It was that you needed this. And this car probably was like $450 to $550 off the lot, brand new.
Yeah, so the year is 1928.
It's a 1928.
So it's 96 years old.
Yeah.
And it still runs, yeah.
It's a minute. All the parts from 3 different larger parts suppliers, as far as interior and, you know, windows and glass and any of the other things that you might need. Like if you're going to build a hot rod, you still might need some of these.
Yeah.
Well, these are like $20 and they're nice and chrome and everything like that. So it's a very doable project. Another thing that's nice about these old things, everything's flat glass. The door panels are flat, so it's actually, you know, like a decent project that I don't want to say like any Joe can do, but they're very doable.
Yeah.
And you just gotta love the look of it. You know, it looks like it's going fast, even though it's 97 years old. Parked.
Nah, it's cool for sure.
And I think the front bumpers and whatnot look good on them. A lot of people will take those off.
Yeah.
You probably will take it off because it's more of a hot rod look without the bumper. But when you step out 20 or 30 feet from it, it's just a great looking little car.
Yep.
Henry Ford really knew what he was doing. I used to build these and I used to build motorcycles, but now I have a smaller business, a 1/64th business. It's called Munkle Mike's, and I build Hot Wheels, so custom Hot Wheels and things like that. And a lot of people are like, how did you get that name? My nieces and my nephews couldn't say Uncle Mike fast, so it just came out Munkle Mike.
Ah.
And pretty soon the adults were calling me that, and it just kind of stuck. So Munkle Mike's, what I did is we got done with the projects at the shop, and I was in the garage and I polished the Hot Wheels because they're aluminum. And my wife said, you should put that on eBay. And I thought, nobody's going to buy this. You're crazy. And so this was back in like 2017, 2018, and definitely nobody was doing it yet. So I put the polished Hot Wheels up on eBay, and it was sold in like 15 minutes. And I thought, okay, there might be something to this. So I did some more, and it was just crazy how it took off, because you would never think that little niche would do that kind of stuff. So now I've been going 7 years strong and just really enjoying it. Uncle Mike's on the Facebook, YouTube, website, all that stuff.
Custom hot rods.
Custom hot rods. 1/64th hot rods. But yeah, very, very cool. Something to Forrest Gump into.
That's cool. And then you want to tell us about the foundation?
In 2019, my son was diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer. And with his Make-A-Wish Foundation money, he started a charity called Ready Fighter One. And we supply toys and video games and TVs to pediatric oncology units across the country. So something that is just, it's kind of weird to me is that hospitals don't have a budget for toys, video games, TVs, so that they don't get any of that stuff. It all has to be donated. And when he was in the hospital and fighting his cancer, there's nothing for the kids to do. So he realized a niche, and he decided, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start buying these carts with TVs and PlayStations on them. And pretty soon we had the whole room filled. And then we had Legos, and then we had Hot Wheels. And it just kind of went from there. And we keep it going in his memory. And it's really nice to take something like a 99-cent Hot Wheels and hand it to a kid and see their face just light up. They have so much work to do while they're at the hospital that small break for the kids and the parents and the caregivers are tired too, so that little bit of smile and feeling good is it's amazing. So Ready Fighter One, readyfighter1.com. You can check that out. Hit the Facebook page.
Cool. Thank you, Mike. Thanks for letting us know.
So in these old things, your cowl is your gas tank, and it's gravity fed, so there's no fuel pump or anything like that. And there's a valve down here to turn your fuel on and off. So you want to make sure your fuel's on. This is your ignition switch. You want to make sure that your ignition is on. And this is the choke. So what you want to do is you want to pull your choke out when you do your cold start. And usually, you get it to fire once on the choke. And then go ahead and put the choke in. Let it warm up. It's very, very cold-blooded. So if you're going to go out for a ride or something, you want to let it warm up and get up to operating temperature. But then otherwise, it's actually the same as your truck. The reverse is up.
Yeah. Job well done.
And then you also want to go through all the shutdowns. So you got to shut your ignition off, set your park brake, and then don't forget to turn the gas off because it's gravity fed.
It's all leak, right?
Out, you'll just have a big puddle of fuel underneath your carburetor.
All right, thank you, Mike, for everything.
You're very welcome, man. Be safe on your drives. It's going to be great to see it.
It's the next day. Last night I got home around 9 p.m. Unload the car with Tall and knocked out. But yeah, she's at her new home in San Jose. I'll give you guys a close-up of the car. Even though she got rust on her, the body is actually pretty straight. Original Henry Ford steel. But yeah, let's start her up.